So there's a school district in Illinois that is literally having to deal with a lawsuit right now because they were, or at least apparently, teaching some type of anti-white lessons to students, and very young at that as well. So this is a lawsuit that was filed on Tuesday, and it was alleging that the district violated anti-discrimination laws while teaching anti-racist coursework. Now they're calling it anti-racist coursework. In reality, that is racist coursework. Okay, keep that in mind. That this is nothing but another way that Democrats are playing with words to try and hide and just try and throw people off, make you think it's a good thing when in reality it's not a good thing at all. So a few of the things that they were actually teaching in this lawsuit is pointing out. First of all, they're saying that the school engaged in racial segregation that depicted whiteness as a devil and taught that whites are inherently oppressive. Okay, so right off the bat, you have this anti-white stuff being put in here. Now, a lot of people on Twitter, some of these actual liberals are saying, well, CRT, these things are not really anti-white. They're just anti-everyone. That's not what we're seeing in the coursework. The actual stuff that's in the coursework here is showing that it is clearly anti-white. It's literally talking about this. It says whiteness as a devil. What else do you need for evidence here? Or do we need to somehow just show this to you in a more plain and clear form? But honestly, it doesn't get more clear than this, in my opinion. So it also taught that teachers were separated by race, instructed on the problems with white talk and, quote, white privilege, and required to participate in privilege walks. Now, I'm assuming this was, I don't know if this was some kind of field trip or something like that, but it seems as if what they were doing is basically saying, okay, we're going to go and have this group separated and walk this way, and this group is going to be separated, and they're going to do this thing, and then we're going to talk about how privileged or oppressive we are, and blah, blah, blah. That's what it seems like. So it also was going on and saying that students as young as kindergarten were separated by race into affinity groups, which we've talked about before, nothing but just segregation. That's what that is. Affinity groups is a euphemism for segregation. Let's not forget that. But they were told to participate in privilege walks based on their skin color and given books depicting whiteness as the devil that messes endlessly and all fellow humans of color. The other thing that they were putting in here is that children were being taught that whiteness is a bad deal. White people send overt and subliminal messages that they are superior and that black people are bad, ugly, and inferior, and colorblindness is racist. And what I really hate is that last part where it talks about the colorblindness thing. I mean, it used to be a good thing that people were saying, well, I'm colorblind. I don't see people as black, white, or whatever it is. I see people as people because that's what people are, right? Like nothing comes out in my specific mind when I see somebody of a different race or the same race. That's not something I think about. It's just that they're a human being and they should be treated like any other human being should, based on their character, right? That's what we were told. But now they're saying, no, that's racist. You can't be objective. What is that about? Because they don't want people to be objective. They are not dreaming of a world in which white people are looking at black people or vice versa and saying, you know what, like it doesn't matter. That's not something that's important to who we are. It's not important at all about who we are. What is important is our being humans and being made in the image of God and being treated based off of the character in which we are participating in. And that's what you would think it would be. But that's not what's happening at all. And this last part basically points that out, where it says the school website proclaimed 5-year-old children, by the way, especially white children, are not racial innocents. The complaint alleges these discriminatory and hostile practices violate the Civil Rights Act and Equal Section Protection Guarantee. Now, what they're doing here is they don't want for the people that are the white students or anything like that to believe that people should be based in being treated off of their character. It is discrimination. In a nutshell, it is discrimination. You can't do this. That's not the way that this should be working. Now, the person that actually filed this lawsuit, by the way, is Stacy Deemer, which is the middle school drama teacher. Okay, and they were suing them over the school district and their curriculum that they're imparting on these different schools. So the lawsuit actually says fostering racial identities, promoting the idea that they are in conflict, and perpetuating divisive stereotypes, pits teachers and students against each other based on the color of their skin. Once again, this is all about trying to make sure that everyone is separated and segregated. So it goes on and says they teach them that their whole identity comes from the color of their skin. They teach them to hate each other. They teach them not only how to be racist, but that they should be racist. And that key point at the end is what I was talking about. It's not teaching them about racism. It's teaching them how to be racist. because being colorblind is considered as racist to them. They want you to see that race, whether you're white, black, or whatever it may be. They want you to see the race. They want you to have certain opinions of it based on that race, but they want you to do something to change the situation, basically, especially if you're white. Because what they're saying is that we don't want a situation where you just see black people as human beings. We want you to see them as black. And not only that, we want you to see yourself as white. We want you to feel that you are better than them in every way. We want you to be discriminating against black people, but we want you to recognize that privilege that you apparently have that we can't really point to. You see what I'm saying? That's basically what they try to do. They're telling them how to be racist. They're not trying to get rid of it. But yet in the beginning of it, what you saw is that it was anti-racist coursework. That's what they're calling it. This doesn't sound anti-racist at all. It's the idea that identity is integral to who a person is. That's what they're trying to do. It is the only important factor, contributing factor, as to who you are, what you are, how you are. That's all that really matters, is the skin color. And that's what they're trying to impart on these children and tell them and force them to believe this when they're that young, when kids don't even pay attention to that. They're not focused on all of these things whatsoever. And this is the biggest issue with this. So I hope that this lawsuit actually goes and actually accomplishes something with this, because school districts, parents clearly are waking up. I've covered that on the show so many times, of so many parents that have come out and said something against these types of anti-racist teachings. Really just racist teachings is what it is. But I hope this lawsuit actually gets some results here, gets the school district to say, okay, we're going to cut this stuff out. And I hope this isn't the last lawsuit that we see. Parents need to be paying attention to this, and we need to be suing these people, because it's not objective. It is not what's supposed to be happening. Schools used to exist to teach students how to think. Now they're telling them what to think. That is an extreme problem. You just watched a clip from The William Hall Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.